Christian Council has raised concerns over what it describes as a worrying trend of religious excesses within the Christian fraternity. According to the council, some self-styled pastors who are engaged in these religious excesses forbid their members from going to school, accessing healthcare, and working to earn a living because they perceive it to be against the teachings of Christ. Now, I have in the studio with me General Secretary for the Council, Reverend Kwabena Opuni Frimpong, and we'll talk about these religious excesses over the next few minutes. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Religious excesses. How do we measure it? What are they?
You know, thanks for the opportunity. Now, religion is to facilitate growth, development. Religion is to make life better. Now, if you get any religion, whether Christianity, traditional religion, Islam, that will frustrate development, that will push people backwards, now you have every cause to complain. For instance, as a country, we are pursuing what we call Millennium Development Goals. Now, that is a national agenda that government, other civil societies are all pushing, you know. Then, and among other things, in the Millennium Development Goals, you have access, that Ghanaian children will have access to education, that pregnant women will go through the process of delivery safe and sound. Now, if you get any religion or a pastor who will want to teach people that don't go to school, that person is frustrating the whole development agenda of a nation. If I get a pastor who want to teach his members that don't go to hospital, to the extent that pregnant women who, in fact, the church is supposed even to help the vulnerable in society. But if you can't pick my bill, you put me in front of the whole church and whip me, and the only crime that this pregnant woman has committed is that she's pregnant and she's been to the hospital. Now, when you have such things in a country, you have every cause to say that we are having excesses in religion.
Why is it important we check these excesses at this point?
You know, there's a level that faith or religion can remain a personal thing. You know, if I decide today I will be in my room, I'll meditate, I won't eat, you know, that is me. But the moment how I live my faith affects and threaten public safety, then we must raise alarm. If somebody will put, and such things have happened in Uganda, in US, where, you know, people are confined and they will not be allowed to see their families and go to school and other things, and then such pastors, religious people get to a point when they don't know what to do. Some have given poison to people to drink. Some have set some of them ablaze. Now, when you have such situation, then the laws of the land, you know, you've gone beyond religion. You are now into development. You know, you are now into public protection. You are into public safety. So then the security agencies, the law, traditional leaders, district administration, I mean local government administration, media, all of us must come together that this will not help our development. This is not just a personal thing you are doing to yourself. You are harming society, and that must be checked. The laws of the land must be applied.
Let's look at how that reads into extremism, and we've seen what extremism when it comes to religion has done to some states within our own continent here. What role can religion play in reversing that?
Yeah, so, you know, those in religion are the first people to raise the flag, because if you push it to government is not a theologian, expert in this. So those of us in the fraternity must be the first person to say there's something in theology we call orthodoxy and orthopraxis. Orthodoxy is the sound teaching of a faith, and orthopraxis is the sound practice. And those of us in it, we are the ones to say that this is outside orthodoxy, this is outside orthopraxis. And we must also team up. This must be a collective responsibility thing. So you need security, you need law, you need social welfare, you need traditional leaders. But then those of us in religion must come out to say that if you stretch this aspect, this portion of Bible. For instance, when people say Jesus did not go to school. Now, when you go into education, we have what we call patterns of learning. Now, they always respond to the context, so that if 50 years ago we were not using computers in schools, we are not using some kind of approaches we are using today, and you conclude that because 100 years ago we did not do that, therefore we shouldn't do it today. Jesus' time, we did not have schooling, but they had synagogue. And he subjected himself to that. This young boy will go to synagogue education to the extent that even the then scholars could not withstand some of the questions the young boy was asking. He called himself a rabbi. A rabbi was a teacher, and Jesus would teach at Greek. He would teach culture. He would teach health. He would teach security, engineering. Look at the stories he told in the New Testament. You know, so if you conclude, and in fact in the synagogue, they were not teaching only the Torah, Bible. They were teaching hygiene. They were teaching community life and all that. So if you conclude today that because when I read the Bible, JSS is not in the Bible, secondary school is not in the Bible, so Jesus did not go to school. What about the synagogue education? Hospital. Now, the Good Samaritan story, they talk about the inn. That was health facility. So yes, I read the Bible. Kolebu is not in the Bible. Komfanochi is not in the Bible. What is the inn in the Bible? That Good Samaritan was sent for her wounds to be treated. So those who are reading the Bible in contemporary society must learn and be balanced enough so that we may have the teachings right, but how we practice, we don't mislead people to say, because Jesus did not go to hospital. So society should...
Again, it boils down to how an individual, or the decision an individual takes. How should the individual protect him or herself from, you know, those you have described as practicing religious excesses? I mean, it's all based on faith anyway.
Yes, but there's a way that society must also have and show responsibility. You know, if we decide that let's leave the individuals to handle their own affairs, as a society will not be helping our people, then we are not equally also need laws. You see, there will always be people who want to take undue advantage of others. And the same way we want to protect our people on our roads against armed robbery, corruption, and other things. The same way that government, bigger society, must also protect the vulnerable. So we can't just push it to fate that, oh, this is faith matter, let's leave that person. If Ghana want every Ghanaian to have access to education, then anybody who frustrates that effort, we need, as a people, come together and protect the ordinary people, the vulnerable, from harm and danger.
We'll leave it here. Thank you very much, Reverend Dr. Kobna Upuni Frimpong is General Secretary for the Christian Council of Ghana.